So, you're feeling pretty well established when it comes to streaming. You've developed a community, got to meet a few other streamers, and overall feel as though you've gotten to a point where you can call yourself a quote-unquote streamer. But you still feel as though there are some ways you can improve your quality in order to become more professional. Well, worry not, because I have the tips for you right here. In this guide, I reached out to a bunch of Mixer partners to ask them for some advice that they would consider advanced tips. Their Mixer link with time cards to every tip is in the description, so make sure you go follow them. This guide is built for people that are about a year or more into streaming, the kind of people that know their way around a stream and are looking to up their game to a new height. If you're looking for a more beginner-friendly build, I suggest you take a look at my other video, link is in the description. Lastly, if you have any additional questions that are not answered in either video, make sure you go follow my Mixer channel and ask when I'm live. I unfortunately am not partnered yet, so all follows are greatly appreciated. That's everything, on to the tips.
Now, you've been streaming for a year. So let's talk about your goals. What were your goals when you first started streaming? What were you wanting? Was it average concurrent viewers? Was it a follower number? Those goals, while they're really important and you need to make sure that you're watching them, if you're not hitting them, you have to understand that that's a part of the journey. And when you look at all these big streamers, like these people that you might look at and adore and love, they've been streaming for years to get where they are. So you don't, even within a year, having decent growth, semi-explosive growth, or kind of, bad growth, all of those things are completely within acceptable parameters. Just make sure that you understand that you're focusing on what you're doing and how you're doing it. And don't worry about what other people have done and how fast they've grown and how fast they've hit a higher concurrent viewership number. It's all about your journey. And have fun while you're doing it, because that's the most important thing.
ChicaDeAwesome says, so, you've made it to a year on Mixer. Congrats on sticking with it. Staying consistent is half the battle. It's time to focus on what you now know. Focus on what your brand means and how to apply it to your community. Always look to make new friends and upgrade your content in whatever way there is. It's best to apply for partnership within the 2 to 5K sweet spot, but if you have already gotten denied, don't give up yet. Make changes when needed, keep an eye out on trends, and keep true to you and what you enjoy best. Find ways to monetize and ride the momentum and hype, but never at your own personal expense. Keep at it, cause you got this. Virus says, never stop networking. UnicornGaming says, remember those who supported you when you were starting out and still wet behind the ears. Stay humble.
So, now you've been streaming a little while, right? What about, let's say you've been streaming a year. You still being you, still being true to yourself, you're going to be killing it. You're going to make a ton of friends. You're going to be part of your community. You're going to be part of other communities. It's going to be wonderful. Now, in this journey, you are going to meet people that don't have your best interest in mind. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, just stating facts. So, with that in mind, as long as you stay true to yourself and you be genuine, you be you will never have to worry about anything these people do. The vast majority you're going to meet are going to be great, awesome people. There's going to be some that aren't so much. So as long as you're you, they won't bother you. Won't matter what they do, because you're you. You're genuine. You're staying true to yourself. You got this. Love your faces.
Jeff says, networking is huge. Not enough people leverage people in your local community to establish yourself as a content creator. In your area, there's a lot of other content creators, some of different platforms. Establishment is the key at this point. NKWhoa says, if you're hoping to make industry contacts, social media can be a double-edged sword. Remember that everything you say is forever on the internet, and companies are looking to see how you represent your brand. Be careful what you say now, it may affect tomorrow. EscaPlays says, invest and reward your existing community. New people and bigger numbers will follow suit. Take care of yourself, whether that means a day off or trying something new. Keep an open line of communication with viewers. Remember why you started this.
Once you started gaining some traction and built a bit of a following, at this point you're a brand. Brand recognition is key. Think of all those big streamers out there and how recognizable their names are. Don't surround your name with X's, don't replace too many letters with numbers, things like that. Don't piggyback off of somebody else's identity. When it comes to you, be unique, but don't be too complicated.
Beaver says, Don't be afraid to fail. Your stream will constantly evolve and you should always try new things. It's okay if something doesn't work out the way you want it to. You are allowed to fail, but you need to make sure that you're growing and learning from it. MaidenOfRuin says, don't pay attention to the numbers. Appreciate the ones who keep returning. That's your community. LayDwnClown says, when networking, don't only talk to someone if it's for a stream or a co-stream. Embed yourself within their community as well. You'll have to plant the seeds deep for that tree to grow.
The long-term piece of advice I would give, and the one that would help me, is think to yourself, what type of content are you looking for, and what do you want to see? Because chances are, if you're looking for it, then someone else is probably looking for it. And you'll probably make like-minded friends and people. Hope this helps. Bye!
LostSoulBrand says, what's important is finding your screen presence through chat interaction. We don't all start off as a chef. We have to cook and learn to become great at cooking. These principles also apply to streaming. 2Stanky says, don't be afraid to branch out. If you feel like it's time to switch things up, but are afraid of losing your established audience, don't be. When you feel like it's time to move, move. StormTheBard says, find a way to include your community in some way. If you're playing single-player games, but can name things after your community, do it. Or use a voting system to choose which games so it's something that both you and your community enjoys. They are a big reason you do what you do and where you are, so you owe it to them. However, in the end, it is your stream, so find a way to balance that.
As far as advice for somebody who's been in the game for a while, I guess it depends on where your journey takes you. But I mean, always just remember that balance is key, because you're gonna have times where you're out there trying to figure out who you are and how your goals are gonna manifest, and maybe you've had a few failures or a few setbacks, and maybe you've had some successes, but you also always have to make sure that you are making time for self-care. There's nothing more important, and it's something that's rampant, and you see it all over the place where people are just burnt out because they keep going, they don't know what their next step is, and then they get into this whole idea of, well, if I just keep going, if I just keep grinding, if I just keep doing this, if I just get the next goal, then everything's gonna be okay. But nobody's leaving time for themselves to recuperate and just kind of, understand that there's a balance in working and resting. Especially for people who do this for a part-time thing. It's especially difficult because there's always something that you feel like you can be working on, you can be changing, you can be upgrading, you can be, furthering along, developing, but you always just have to make sure that you take some time for yourself, take a step back and just disconnect. Walk away from it and come back, because it's still going to be there.
Sithos says, treat partnership as a starting point, not an end goal. Although it's perfectly acceptable to work towards partnership, it should never be your primary goal. Building a community is so much more important.
So you've made it a year streaming. Congratulations, that's something to be applauded. Not many people make it this long in the first place, so you should give yourself a pat on the back for making it as long as you have. I wrote something down, advanced tips for someone who has been doing this for at least a year, so let's see what we got. Never forget who you are. Everyone grows at their own pace. You'll see a lot of people getting bigger numbers than you, growing by leaps and bounds, but ignore it. You're doing your own thing in your own way, and it can be tough not seeing that instant gratification that others are enjoying. But always remember who you are first and foremost, and stick to that the best you can. In short, just be yourself. You are the only person who can produce the kind of content that you produce. You are uniquely you, and stick to that the best you can. There's nothing that you have to do that you don't want to do. So enjoy it and have a good time. That's kind of the whole point of doing this in the first place, is to have a good time and doing something that you enjoy, that you want to share with others. So just be yourself about it. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
MonsterousRage says, as you grow, you'll have to fine-tune your stream, keep things that work and remove things that don't. Listen to your community and ask questions. The more you involve them in the change, the more they feel connected to you in return. Get your community involved and watch the magic come of it. Another note, make sure you have a schedule, even if it's only once a week. Make it the same time that week, every week. If people don't know when you're live or you bounce around too much, you'll notice a decline in people attending. Think of it like a TV show. It airs every Tuesday, but next week it's on a Thursday. If your regulars don't know where you're at, they won't watch you.
Okay, so I was told that you guys wanted some more advanced tips. Like, you've been streaming for a while now, you got your schedule set, all the basics are down, but you wanna get to that next level, right? That philosophy type of galaxy brain knowledge bomb, right? So I've been streaming for a while, a few years. I've been watching for way longer than that, and everything I've seen, everything I've done, all that knowledge gain kind of boils down to one idea here, and I'll let you in on the secret because it doesn't seem like a lot of people want to talk about it. Like, okay, just listen. None of us know what we're doing, man. Nobody knows. we're all just guessing. Okay, that's the truth to it, really. Like, you might think we know what we're doing. The people you're looking up to. You think that the big streamers, obviously they know what they're doing. They're getting everything done. But we're just people, man. Like, look at Ninja, okay? For a while now, he's been like the streamer. Everybody knows him. Even people who don't know what streaming is know Ninja, right? He's top of Fortnite, top of Twitch, and now he's on Mixer. And everybody, nobody knows what to say about that, right? Because on one hand, it's a big move for him. Is it a great move? Sure. Is it the best move? I don't know. Nobody knows. But that's where the debate is, right? No, if there's a debate, that means there is no one answer. Because everybody's got a different opinion. Everybody's got a different idea about it. So, I guess you're wondering how this is a tip. Honestly, I don't know. But that's really the point, is I'm not qualified to tell you what to do. Nobody's qualified to tell you what to do. Just because, something worked for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You got to take your own journey. All of our paths are going to be different. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is just have confidence in your own decisions and don't listen too closely to anybody's advice. Like, don't even listen to my advice. Don't listen to what I'm telling you right now. I mean, obviously, take it with a grain of salt, but don't just follow in the footsteps of the people that you see before you. It's like, I definitely don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what game I'm going to be streaming most days until I get to that point, but I embrace that. And so does my community. So it can work. Just do what you want to do. It's good to have goals and look up to others, but there's no magic formula that'll bring you success. So just follow your path, whether that's similar to someone else's or if it's completely different. And when you get to where you get, look back and let us know what you learned. That's all I got to say. Y'all have a good one, all right? Peace.